How are you guys doing? Welcome back. Today is 12/26/2021. Merry Chrysler. Happy Honda days to everybody. Hope you guys had a good holiday season. And to those who celebrate, happy Kwanzaa to you. Today is the first day as well. That's dope. That's awesome for everybody who celebrates. Congrats. If you are new, welcome. My name is Evan, aka John Stonkton, aka Chef Boyar Swing, and aka Bruce Swingstein. Sick nicknames. Actually, this is a dope hoodie I got for my fiance for Christmas. Ooh, yeah, boy, we dripped. No, but if you're a good person, you're a nice little one of Santa's little helpers, wait till the end of the episode and maybe I'll show some more of what's underneath this hoodie. Not really. We'll see. Actually, you'll never know. You don't stay around. If you are new, we're talking about technical analysis mainly. January 1st. The back of my hoodie looks ridiculous. There we go. January 1st. We are going to start doing fundamentals on some calls. Going to really start making this into a real TV show kind of aspect with 3 little segments. Be on the lookout for that coming next week. We're rebranding. It's all jumping off next week. Next Sunday should be the day. Hopefully, we're good to go. When it comes to technical analysis, we're going to talk about supports, resistances, trend lines, patterns, EMA lines, volume profile, RSI, stochastic, and the vortex indicator. All 9 of those things are just on your screen. The 10th thing being love, because I love all of you who come by here. My sweet baby angels. So if you are interested, I would not join the Patreon until 1/2. It's going to charge you twice. And I don't want someone getting charged twice for, albeit a great community and a great investment, but don't get charged twice for it. If you're interested, come check me out 1/2. We actually are building our own website with our own clients where you can join anytime you want. It will be discount codes, a bunch of great stuff going on. But that's going to be happening later. But if you want to check out the extra information, the extra content, the nightly newsletters are super in-depth, the picks early, all this kind of great stuff, check out the newsletter, Discord, Patreon down below. Yesterday was Christmas, no picks. A lot of the picks from last week are still viable. Check those out as well in the description box down below. Lastly, it's volume profile. I know I did this a lot. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's really fake. I mean, I'm not against it. I want folks to know it. Volume profile, I have a video on that. Check it out up there. It's going to help you with the tools that I talk about. Lastly, in the description box, the last great thing is going to be our journal. All the calls that I make here are live on that. Go check it out. I show losers. I show winners. I show how everything is done based on the price targets that I have for myself and how they've been performing. With that being said, 8 great picks today. We're going to go into this stuff fantastically, stupendously, magnificently, get through this. Have a great week. I have 8 great picks. With that being said, let's hop right into it. So first is AFL Affleck, like the commercials. That wasn't annoying at all, I bet. AFL is a fantastic ascending triangle. Now again, Nick Saban's in the commercials. I don't like Alabama football. Go Dogs all day, ball let it pass. What we have here, as we can see, is a classic ascending triangle, right? We have bulls buying in and selling at the same price. Bulls buying in, selling at the same price. Bulls doing it again, bulls doing it again. And we can see with ascending triangles, bulls are saying, hey, 40 is fair. And they go, well, actually, 51's fair. Well, actually, 53's fair. Well, 54. No, not 56. So we can see bulls are definitely buying and pushing the price. And we have a possible breakout here. This top dotted line is the volume profile line. Again, in that video, you'll understand that that's the top 70% of where volume happens. Anything up here is going to be our breakout signal. You can see it was a nice fake up before. We're going for a breakout. Even if AFL fails tomorrow, let's say it comes back down, right? You could short if you really feel like it's not a great investment, 4%, nothing to swing a bat at or be happy about. But if this does come back down, well, eventually it'll go right back up most likely. So it's a really good looking play. If it does break down further, you can look for maybe a support play here and go for a horizontal channel. But anywhere up here is fantastic. Good dividend payout as well if it does break out. But overall, a great ascending triangle, pressuring volume, pressuring resistance, higher lows across the board. Fantastic 10 out of 10 setup. Let's check the indicators. I say this in every episode, but I think it's important for beginners to get this beat into your head. Indicators are the icing. TA is the cake. Indicators, we say, have an MTVV. What's that mean? Indicators like that TV channel, MTVV. They show you momentum, trend, volume, and volatility. That's it. We use these indicators to help us enter, help us exit, help us plan, and do all of our things with consistency, with goal setting, with macro markets. All these kinds of things are helped by indicators. So if you rely too heavily on indicators, it's not the end of the world, but you should really try and wean off of them just a bit and really try and work towards using technical analysis over these. These should shed light for you and not be the end all be all. With that being said, you'll see live what I see. Let's go through it together. So AFL off the bat, we'll start off EMA lines. The best one is definitely that purple one. That's the 50. You can see over here, whenever it's near the 50, it's a good value. And when it breaks below it, what is it? A resistance. Of course, the 200 is going to be stronger, but it's so far away. We can see we're above the 50. That's a great sign for us to run. And with the 10 EMA, the blue one, how are the crossovers? Well, they're pretty good. They get kind of choppy as well. I'm not overly excited for a 10 EMA cross. You can see every time it crosses that 10 EMA line, it's just okay. Like, that's really good. But otherwise, it's just average. As long as we're over the 50, I'd be comfortable going long. Over the 10 for sure. If you lose the 10 and the 50, that's when you could probably short it. But overall, it's a good trend. The 200's pointed up. Everything's pointed up. It's properly stacked. Great for a breakout and a continued run. Love it. RSI is a bit high, so we're not buying into value. But again, it caps out at around 70. So we got room to run up. We have room to take over, some more room. Pull back and test to 50 maybe. So not a great value, but of course not terrible either. Stochastic's a bit high. There's no there's no bearish divergence. It's very close. I mean, one could say it's very close, right? That's not even, right? There's no bullish either. This all checks out. No true bearish divergence, but again, it's just overbought. You may pull back to the 50 and then keep going. Bulls on the vortex just crossed over, and again, you want to buy low, sell high most times. But we can see from momentum where the green caps out, we have room to run, and bears do have room to drop here, right? So it's not a perfect value purchase. I think a lot of folks who've been here for a while know like to buy into value, and that's a great strategy. But with this kind of market, after that huge run up in the S&P, you sometimes have to take what it gives you. And this is a fantastic breakout play, in my opinion. If it was me, I would go long. If it does come down tomorrow, if the markets do come down, buy just a bit lower towards 55 bucks, you'll be good to go, in my opinion. Overall, AFL, watch list it. Even if you don't play it tomorrow, definitely watch list it. Next is FCPT, Four Corners Property. This is a great REIT, real estate. The 10 years, you can see, it doesn't really grow. It's been going sideways for years now. If you were to bought in at the IPO, it'd be up what, maybe 40% over a few years. Nothing to write home about. But this is a really good looking short at the moment. The reason is, if I remember correctly, this is a real estate company, and with Omicron doing its thing, I don't think it's going to survive this area. If I turn the volume profile, you'd see a nice giant capital D, big old D, and we can see that anywhere up here, it loses traction and bears take over. So that means, do you want to start shorting here? Yeah, maybe. I think you probably want to short closer to 29.50. Anywhere up here, though, will be an absolute steal for a short. Do I want to go long eventually? Sure, but I want to buy low. I think towards $27, $26.50, I want to go long. But, a nice short here, 7-8% for a full move, risking about 1 or 2. It makes a lot of sense. I think Omicron's going to run the train on this one. It's not going to do very well. Overall, very easy short. If it does break out, hey, go for that breakout. When it comes to indicators, let's start with the 10 EMA crossover. It's pretty good. All right, it's pretty good. Whenever it gets over the 10, it runs pretty well. That's what you want to see. Whoop, and then it comes down. Overall, it's pretty good run-ups. So as long as you're over the 10, you don't have to short. But if you do lose that 10, that's your first signal to go short. Could you wait for us to cross under? That's probably a fine idea. We crossed under, now it's time to short. Especially the 50 is really going to be your go short signal or go long signal. As you can see, every time you're over the 50, it's a great support. Whenever you're below it, it's a great resistance. So waiting for that, probably too far away, but overall, shorting makes sense. RSI is overbought, makes sense. Stochastic, overbought, makes sense. Bulls are towards the top, bears are towards the bottom. Unlike AFLAC, which has fundamental features, it's also a 9 PE ratio, which is delicious. FCPT does not have that. It doesn't have that going for it. So I think overall, it's a very easy short at this point. Again, go long lower, but right here, I want to short it into the ground. Overall, though, FCPT has to be watch listed into this week. Next is LPCN, Lipcon, a great falling wedge. Let's zoom out real quick. See how important this support is? How historically support this is? How historically important this support is what I'm trying to say. Overall, it's a very good support area. And look at, if it breaks down that support, you're risking what, 5-6%? Just to hit the resistance is 10. It's 2 to 1 without even a breakout here. Great lower highs, great lower lows, which is not what I say often, but for a falling wedge, it makes a whole lot of sense here. It's getting tight. It's getting real tight. It could break down very easily. Again, let's zoom out. It's had lower lows. It has seen 40 cents and even the 30-cent range. This can go lower. Again, the 40-cent range is down here, right? You can definitely see this. So don't be thinking it can't go much lower. It certainly can. But this is a very fantastic support. Great trend line, great pattern. POC's gravitation wants to pull us higher. Overall, it's a fantastic one to watch into this week. Let's check the indicators together. I'm sure the 50 is going to be the best one. Yeah, it's usually the best one on this time frame. The 50 is going to be a nice resistance. Same with the 200. If you get a 50 cross tomorrow, you can go long. You get 200 cross, you could also go long. Anywhere down here, good value. 10 cross is not great at all. The 10 cross only works over the 50, as you can see. If you're not over the 50, it's not really that great. So waiting for a 50 cross down here does make some sense. RSI, it's fair. That's not bad. Stochastic, it's nice and, again, fair. You want it just a bit lower, but that's okay. Bulls are on top, which, again, is not a great value signal. But if you cross that 50 EMA line, you're probably going to come down and retest it. Again, the indicators are not the greatest I've ever seen, but they're not terrible. The thing we're looking for here is TA over the indicators. I think that it could be better. I think LPCN a bit lower could be better, but overall I think it's a great one to watch into this week. Huge potential, but overall LPCN, I definitely watch this week. Next is NNVC, Nano Verides. This is a great penny stock. I think the company's not even worth over $100 million. It's not worth a lot. We can see a great trend line. 1 good hit, 2 good hit, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's been extremely consistent. And as of recently, this is again ascending triangle vibes, is it not? It comes down, goes back up, comes down, goes back up. And we can see bulls keep buying in just a bit higher and keep pushing this $5.50 mark. Again, I'm not guaranteeing $5.50, and definitely not. But it's definitely a good spot to be aiming for a really good big move. Very quick reversals. It's right at support. Historically, it's been very strong. POC wants to pull us higher. Trends holding. Again, we could probably see, 4 or 5% lower easy. If you get that, great. But we can see we're starting to form a support, right? We're getting here, going back and forth before big moves happen. We're starting to consolidate. So NNVC, you have to do your due diligence. This has seen much lower, has seen much higher. I would definitely give it a few days to look it over, make sure you know what you're doing. But a great uptrend and a great support nonetheless. 10 EMA line crosses are fantastic. 50 are fine as well. 10s are pretty good. You go over the 10, usually pretty good for a few day trades. And worst case, Ontario. So down here, great value. Waiting for 10 crosses, fine in my opinion. RSI 41, it's fine. It's nothing amazing, but it's fine. Stochastic, there's no divergences. You had a small bearish one. Not the greatest thing that ever happened. That's probably why I came down farther. And again, it's getting down to a good value. Under 40 is what I'm going to go for. Once you cross that red line, now we're in value. Bulls just crossed under, bears just crossed up. NNVC, you probably have 2 or 3 days of waiting on it. Let this bad boy come to you, right? You have plenty of other good plays. AFL is great. FCPT are great. Give it a few days to come on down to us. But eventually, this makes a lot of sense to go along with. I just want to let it come on down to us. NNVC, I definitely watch this into this week. Next is OPCH, Option Care Health. I think this is an easy short. The reason is, again, it's a nice ascending triangle. Keep that in mind. That's a very important thing to notice, though. A lot of these patterns are ascending triangles. And why is that important? Let me show you. The reason is, if you go to SPY in itself, as I'm watching, is making ascending triangle as it is. Oh, it's almost like macro markets and micro markets match up sometimes. Who knew? So I think OPCH here matches the Dash ES very closely. That makes a lot of sense. And I think that the S&P is hitting a resistance. If you don't have faith in the S&P, if you have no faith in the market, which some people do, there's perma bears. Very easy short for an easy 8, 9, 10% here. Can it break out? Sure, but there's no volume over here. It's been about 5 months of hitting this area, $28 and just dying off. Eventually it'll cross, but this move does not look sustainable by any means, right? It looks very unsustainable, way too quick. I think it's going to come back down probably to this gap area around 26, 25, and then reverse from there as the trend line comes up. But overall, to me, easy short. Every single gap I've seen, gap got filled. This gap area over here got filled. This gap got filled. This gap got filled. Every single gap that we've seen gets filled. And again, it's not much, but it's a gap that wants to be filled right there. Easy short in my opinion. OPCH, while you're over the 10, you can wait to short. I wouldn't. Once you lose that 10, you're probably good to go. Every time it loses the 10, very often, it shows the first signs of a downtrend. Under the 10, comes back down. So I think waiting for 10 cross is fine, but again, you can just do it now and probably be just fine as well. RSI is high, stochastic it's dummy high. Bulls are peaking out, not been higher, bears are very low. Easy peasy lemon shorty is what they say. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, all these kinds of things, it doesn't matter. OPCH is a fantastic looking short in my opinion. Do I want to go long eventually? Of course. Of course. I mean, I only short 3 to 4 days at most, but I think OPCH here, it's being ready to drop. I love what I see. Too big of a move up, left a gap. I want to see it come down. I'd watch list it. Next is PNC Financial Services. We all know about PNC. It's a big bank group. It's not where I want it. I want it a bit lower for a value purchase. But we are pressuring this gorgeous resistance trend line. And I want to see us break out of it. I think XLF, that's what's going to follow, Sweet Baby Angels, as we can see, is also pressuring this resistance trend line. And look at, they look very similar. Wow, who knew macro markets and micro markets match? PNC is looking to break out here. Do I think it come down maybe what, 2%, 3%? Sure, but I think if it holds in this area, it makes us move up, retests this area and takes off. I want to see that happen. PNC, great long-term investment. You know, it has a great dividend, great earnings. If you do break out and, you know, if you were down here and you held on to it and ran up like this, you'd be very happy. I think anywhere in here, the same may happen again. PNC, I do love what I see. Let's check the indicators with that crossover. Now we're over the 10. If we cross the 50 or 200, you can then go long. Over the 200, it has its best run-ups. See how the 200 has been a great support. While we're under it, that 200 is going to be a resistance. It's being a real piece of shit right now. If we can break over that, we should be good to go. So waiting for 200 cross makes a lot of sense to me here. RSI, it's fair. Stochastic, it's fair. Vortex is consolidating. We're going sideways. You know, price has moved what? 1.2% in a month. It's gearing up for a big move. I didn't say a big move up. I didn't see a big move down. I said a big move. It can go either way here. We're going to see what happens. But overall, PNC, a great looking breakout, a great looking value purchase, 2% lower. Overall, I do love what I see. I definitely watch list it. Next is Western Midstream Partners, gas. Western Gas. Looks good. A great horizontal channel. Again, it's making a nice move up, nice higher lows, nice consistent resistance in this area. It has, again, ascending triangle vibes, but more focused on this resistance trend. Again, once, twice, 3 times it's held beautifully. And we can see we're starting to pressure it. Again, what's the risk here? If it does break down, you know, give it a percent. You get out. It's fine. You lost it, right? It's a lower high. You just get out. You get back in lower. But if we do break out here, I think the possibilities are going to be endless. So you can see plenty of times in this stock's history. Oh, nice channel up. Breakout, right? It's a bunch of these kinds of plays you can go through and find where trend lines and breakouts were fantastic. Even over here. Oh, look at this nice trend line. Oh, it, boom, broke out and just took off. So I think West is gearing up again for another big move. It's consolidating sideways. As you can see, going sideways, making a support, looking prime for a breakout. Let's check the indicators together. Again, that 200 EMA line. You break above this red line tomorrow and into this week, you're good to go. See how you're pressuring it and you keep wicking down? That's a great lesson in itself. A lot of times, traders see it break over it and they buy in and then it wicks back down. For a play like this, you have to let the candle solidify. So if you want to buy into a breakout, you got to wait at least 4 hours for this one. So around noon, you should be checking it out. And again, look at the 200. Support. It was a great support all the way up. And when you got below it, it was a very strong resistance. So waiting for that crossover is pinnacle for this kind of play. Our side's a bit high. Stochastic's a bit high. Bulls are a bit high. Again, it makes sense. We're going for a breakout. We want this to kind of break out, come down, retest, then take off. I think it does have room to drop. But I think fundamentally speaking and structurally speaking, a breakout's very potential. I do love what I see for that. WES, Western Gas, I definitely watch listed into this week. Last is WRE, Washington Real Estate Group. Look at this. It's a dividend stock. 1, 2, 3. Every 3 months, like most dividends, it pays out about 1%. 30 cents for about 24 bucks is pretty good. Historically, with a REIT, in dividend stocks, you're not going to see growth in price. You can see how you go from 34 to 16, right? It's been down to 22 before, but often this thing just prints out, right? Just like Coke, KO, you don't really see growth in the price, right? It's gone up maybe like 25, 30% every year, or sorry, every 4 or 5 years. I think Verizon's the same. It doesn't grow because of price. It has a little bit in there, but it pays out in dividends. WRE is the same exact way. Great dividend. You're on the bottom side of where it should be. You can definitely break out here. I love what I see for a nice little horizontal triangle. If it breaks out and you get 5 or 6% baked into your dividend investment, it makes a lot of sense to me. You can swing this. You can sell cover calls on this and make quite a lot of money, in my opinion. I love what I see for this one. When it comes to WRE, the 200, oh my goodness. Oh, this is a Chef Boyer swing special, right? Delicious. Look at this 200. Support, support, support. Of course, of course, of course. It's been in support the whole entire time. That could be your stop loss area. You break over that 50, you're good to go. You break that 50, boom, 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 boom. Big moves over the 10 and the 50. As long as you're over the 200, you're good to go. It's all fair, right? It's consolidating, it's consolidating, it's consolidating. This thing's gearing up for a big move. Here's the best part about a REIT like this. If the price starts to run, swing trade it, make some easy money. If it dips down to like 22, 20, 18, long-term invest, sell cover calls, make a butt ton of money. Makes a lot of sense to me to watch this. Overall, WRE, I do love what I see. There you guys have it. I hope you guys appreciate the episode. Again, next week, we're going to start doing fundamentals. We're going to start doing some more structured, kind of like outside the TA, quicker stuff where the episode's hopefully going to be about 25, 30 minutes, a little bit longer. But folks should get a lot more information out of this kind of stuff. Otherwise, have a good rest of your guys' holiday season. Happy Kwanzaa to you. Happy New Year. We'll see you guys next time.